Nobody was remembered for how they started something. No one was remembered, no one was celebrated for how they started anything. Anyone you've seen being celebrated, anyone you've seen being remembered, they are people, it's primarily because of how they finished. It's because of how they were able to endure to the end. There are a lot of people who started well. There are a lot of people who started a lot of things with very good intentions. There are a lot of people who did a lot of things with good intentions, but sadly, not a lot of them made it to the finish line. It takes some kind of mindset to make it to the finish line. It takes some kind of determination to make it to the finish line. It takes some kind of posture, some kind of a way of locking your mind to the finish line, even from the beginning. Because everything good, everything worthwhile, especially things that you are going to be remembered for, there are going to be a lot of distractions. There are going to be a lot of distractions from a lot of places. A lot of places you don't even imagine, would come with distractions. It's a big problem. It's a big issue. Your intention at the beginning to make it to the end is not enough. There's a way you have to psych your mind. There's a way you have to lock in to the finish line right from the beginning. And another important thing is ability to endure. Ability to endure. A lot of people don't have. A lot of people cannot endure a lot of stuff. And this is a Christian channel. A lot of people, endurance. So you see a lot of people who have good intentions, good ideas, want to do A, B, and C, but the sad thing is a lot of people are not able to make it to that finish line. A lot of people are not able to achieve that thing they set out to do at first. One of them is distractions. A lot of distractions. A lot of distractions from left, right, center. Distractions from places you didn't even expect they were going to come from. So one of the things, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're planning to do. I don't know what you've started doing. I don't know what you are even in the planning stages and trying to do. But one of the things that will help you go through is to expect distractions and have build a bypass around distractions. Because when you ask yourself, why did people set out to do the right thing in the beginning, and at the end, they were not found at the finish line? It means something got to them on the path, on the way, on the journey. Something got to them. Something was able to shift their focus from that which they had intended to accomplish at first to something else. Something was able to shift, their attention. It's a big problem, And one of the things children of God have to build up, you have to become intentional about is ability to endure. Everybody, see, one of the reasons why people who intended to achieve certain things were not even able to make it to the finish line was because they did not envision certain things. They did not make room for certain things, so for unexpected things, And if you've watched closely, you study closely here in the world, anything you try to do, a lot of times on a paper, you see point A, point B, point C, point D, and it looks easy on paper, but when you set out to do it, you realize certain things keep popping up from nowhere, and all that. And in your planning, if you don't make allocations for distractions, if you don't make allocations for distractions, something that might come up, unexpected things that might show up in the path on whatever you have decided to do, one distraction is going to take you off course. One. And a lot of times, if you try to do good things here, especially if you try to do good things that are worthwhile, you see a lot of distractions. You see a lot of distractions, especially coming from places you did not expect, you did not imagine will come up with any form of distraction. Places you did not expect them to come from, And if you've not made allocation to about what you're going to do, if X shows up, if that shows up, if this problem comes up, if that comes up, if you've not made allocations for that, and all you think is, I can execute A, B, C, and D, and I'll just complete, It means you are setting yourself up not to finish that race. It means you are setting yourself up not to arrive at the finish line, because on this earth, if you study closely, every time you try to do things in a certain way, the right way, and the way it's supposed to be, there are a lot of distractions. And as children of God, we are supposed to be able to envision some of these things, and make provision for them. I see a lot of people, children of God give up very easily. And sometimes one might think, if the thing I'm trying to do is a good thing, then I should be able to sail through it. No. You will not be allowed to sail through it easily, especially if it's a good thing. So we have to make allocations for that. There is this invisible force here on earth that fights every good thing. I'm telling you. That's the reason why we see a lot of good things that are supposed to end well, especially things that are going to come with a benefit for humanity. Especially things that are supposed to benefit humanity as a whole, especially in those projects. There's always an invisible force, an invisible hand that always wants to tamper, that always wants to mess up, that always wants to create distractions so that particular thing cannot be achieved. I don't know how you are, I don't know how long you've been here on earth, but if you've studied closely, you are going to realize what I'm talking about. Whatever you are planning to do, whatever you have even started, make provisions for distractions and find a bypass, or ask yourself what you're going to do if distractions show up. Because a lot of the reason why the people, good intentions, brilliant ideas, we saw them at the starting line, but as we kept waiting on the finish line, they never arrived, was because there was a distraction, was because something was able to change their mindset from that what they have intended to accomplish into a different path. Something moved their mindset from what the achievement, because the achievement was supposed to benefit humanity. Always, on and on, over and over again. And it's time for the children of God we have to awaken to these things, and be able to execute some of these things that is meant to benefit humanity. Thank you once again.